Okay, so tomorrow at 7:30 in the morning, we're going to have two trucks, and we're going to be taking all of this stuff to Chernivtsi, Vasil, Rami, and myself. And so we'll be traveling to Ukraine. We will travel through the day, and we will be staying there in Chernivtsi in a hotel, and then we will deliver these things to the hospital in Chernivtsi. And we also are going to a children's orphanage there. We have a delivery to make there. And so it's kind of coming to the end of the week. We've been loading all of these things all week long, palletizing all of this, putting the wrapping around it, and it all has to get to where it's going. Some of these things will go to Chernivtsi, and then they will go further into Ukraine. But you can see there's also stuff over here. So just a lot of food and medicine. And this is happening all over Romania and Poland every day. This is just one piece of the entire puzzle. It's really, really amazing. And it's also really amazing and heartwarming to see so many different people, so many different nationalities working together to provide help for the people of Ukraine. And so I really appreciate all of your support as well. This is Anna, she's from Germany, Deutschland. And
Hi, nice to meet you.
Anna, you want to tell them what you're doing here?
Yes, I'm working for Pharmacists Without Borders, and it's a German NGO. In German, it's Apotheker ohne Grenzen. And right now we're in Romania, here in Cluj located, and we have a lot of medicine, the sodium chloride solution, or antibiotics, everything you can find here. And we are sending this to Ukraine, where we have partners, and they are meeting points, and they gonna split it and bring it to all the hospitals who need it.
Thank you. Yeah, there's a pallet here.
Yeah, exactly. We have several.
This one.
Now. This one too. Here even some Tony kits. We are also donating. They're
Yeah.
quite requested, unfortunately, right now.
Yeah, it's the last thing I did on Instagram was Valentine, who's making his own tourniquets.
Oh, wow,
we
yeah.
saw that, yeah.
So, and you produced it.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks for the work you're doing. Have a safe trip back to Germany.
Thank you.
All right.
And good luck in Ukraine.
Bună dimineața. We are getting ready to go to Ukraine, and we are picking up medications that are being donated to Ukraine, and then we'll be on our way. All right. Once the trucks were loaded, we set out on our drive to the Seret border by way of the beautiful Carpathian Mountains. At this point, I should introduce you to Vasil. He is an absolute gem of a person and has a heart of gold when it comes to helping others. He has made this trip to Ukraine so many times since the war started and delivered more tons of humanitarian supplies than you could count. He does this entirely as a volunteer. For this trip, he was our guide and leader. Oh, and Vasil is so much fun to be around. After the trucks were loaded, Vasil needed our help to test the balls that would be donated to the children's orphanage in Ukraine, just to make sure they were okay. At the border, you could definitely sense things were not immigration as usual. First of all, there were many miles and miles of trucks waiting to deliver supplies to Ukraine. Vasil told me that the ironic thing about this is that normally Ukraine is a major exporter of grains, cooking oil, and many other commodities. But now, because most of the production in Ukraine has stopped, trucks are delivering these supplies to Ukraine. In fact, according to this 60 Minutes episode, Ukraine is normally such a significant exporter of grain, If it can't reopen its port city of Odessa, a significant portion of the world's population is at risk of starvation. According to the United Nations World Food Program, they are already taking food from the hungry to feed the starving.
Ukraine is the breadbasket of the world. They grow enough food to feed 400 million people. Well, that's gone. You're already seeing fuel pricing spike, food pricing spike, cost of shipping spiking. It's already creating havoc for the poorest of the poor around the world. But this is going to affect not just the poorest of the poor. It's going to affect everybody.
It wasn't too difficult to cross the border, especially because Vasil was well known by border officials at this point. Once we were inside Ukraine, things seem mostly normal. There's been no conflict or shelling in Chernivtsi, which is one of the reasons that humanitarian aid can take place here. Towns like Chernivtsi are distribution hubs where Ukrainians receive large amounts of aid from their friends in Europe. That said, if you look closely, you would see that there were many gas stations that said 0.00 per liter on their signs, which meant they were out of fuel. When we arrived at the Humanitarian Distribution Center, my cameras had to be put away. This area is under military control, and you need to show your passport to enter. We were told that it was not permitted to take photos or video of anything outside the building that could be used to identify the building. However, Olga and Alex, our official Ukrainian greeters, met us at the trucks to thank us and take a strategically aimed photo. Once inside, they were very gracious and keen to tell us about the work they are doing here. This is Alex. It wasn't on.
Okay. It's not so so important. It's mostly for you, not.
Yeah.
Okay. In general, we can start from here. It's a humanitarian app of Chernivtsi local military administration. This app has two goals. First goal, it works like a checkpoint for humanitarian aid, and then that we received Ukraine, and then we sorting it here and send to other cities that are under attack. And the second goal is to help ADPs, refugees, that is more common for foreign audience. And 3-4 zones in this humanitarian app. This one is for refugees. We receive blankets and other stuff for sleeping. And in Ukraine, in general, local communities are responsible to help refugees. But if some local community say that they don't have enough resources to help those people who are living now in this community, they ask at this app, and we send them blankets or pillows or other stuff that they are needed.
And how many internal refugees in the country are there estimated?
Oh, it's quite difficult to analyze. I heard the official amount is 4 million and non-official as 10 million, because not all of them are
registered, counted,
signed that they're counted. For example, I'm from Urkraine. It's a city that is near to the Kiev, and it was occupied partially. But I hadn't signed it as a refugees here because I didn't need it. This is a medical block, and also it works. It has two goals. First goal, we send some medical supplement to the cities that are under attack, and to Ahmadit also, and so on. And also we send it to local hospitals, because there are also a lot of need, and there are a lot of refugees. There was 2 big factories, or 3, I don't remember exactly, that were located in Kharkiv, and they were bombed, and that's why like thousands of lines of medicaments. They're not now available in Ukraine because it was produced only in Ukraine for Ukraine, and it's very difficult to find ways to get it from abroad. So the humanitarian aid is for some position is the only one way to find this medicaments in Ukraine. The main philosophy of this hub, I will show you this hub.
Okay.
Products we sorted in these bags. This bag you can try.
Very heavy.
It's quite heavy.
Yeah, it's very heavy.
Yeah. From 10 to 15 kilos, and the idea is to that this bag there should be enough supplement for one family from 4 persons for 2 weeks. So it includes mostly rice, pasta, canned food, or oil or such long-term storage, and also some hygienic products. And we pack this in these bags, and then we send help to those cities and those people in these bags. Why so in so way? Because mostly it's easier for people that are in cities that are under attack. There is no need to sort in because if you send, for example, in those pallets some stuff to Kharkiv or some city where war is raging, it's quite difficult because they need.
You have to be ready. The package has to be ready. Like you don't have time to sort it over there.
And in those ways, you can even pack one small car and those and send it. And even we try to help not only those cities that are in a conflict line, but also to occupied cities. For example, we can't deliver stuff in trucks to Kherson as it's occupied, but we deliver to the nearest cities, and then in small cars people brought this help to
others.
To Kherson.
Then that's safer because it's just a car.
It's just a car. It's
Trucks
easier.
usually get bombed.
Yeah.
And not only bomb, but they
drones.
also could
Confiscated.
and confiscated, and it's quite a problem because I also connect with some German volunteers, and they say that we send some help, for example, to the Kharkiv, but we are not sure what exactly would be delivered because it could be robbed, it could be bombed. Now it's quite quiet, but mostly like from these bags they put like sorting line to the end, and then put all this stuff in these bags. For example, just yesterday we sent more than 1,000 such bags to Kyiv.
Oh, thank you, Alex.
Welcome.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching this latest episode where I visited this humanitarian hub in Chernivtsi, Ukraine. I did spend some more time in Ukraine, and those will be featured in future videos. However, I know a lot of you are wondering what happened to the medical supplies that we brought over from California. I'm happy to report they have been delivered to a hospital that was much further in Ukraine than I was prepared to go. And I'm waiting for the woman who delivered those supplies from PATRIR to come back with those stories. She also did video footage, and so I'm hoping to make that into a future video. I know in the beginning of this video I mentioned that I visited a children's orphanage in Ukraine, and I also have footage of that, but I also have to edit that video as well. So if you're interested in all of these different videos, please subscribe to the channel, but more importantly, just spread the word about this channel and this campaign and the fundraiser that we're doing for Ukraine medical supplies. As you can see, the needs in Ukraine are quite great, and as was in the case of the 60 Minutes episode, the food shortages are getting fairly dire, particularly in the east of Ukraine. So I'm trying to figure out new ways that we can actually spread the awareness about this big problem, big humanitarian problem in Ukraine. So if you have any ideas for me, please reach out to me. And thanks again for watching and supporting all of this. All right. Bye-bye.